What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. We're actually starting on the main menu for a change, which is kind of weird. And the reason we're doing that is because I'm thinking about starting a new zoo for a very particular reason that we'll get into here in just a moment. But our normal zoo that we usually play on, Issa Zoo, is doing phenomenal. It's doing so good. We have $1.2 million. We have 2,300 guests, and I believe this is our total animal count of 125. And of course, we got a 5-star rating. Now, I'm kind of starting to run out of ideas / inspiration for Issa Zoo. I don't know what the next exhibit's going to be. Feel free to suggest a couple of different animal types for me, and I'll check the marketplace, see what I can find for a reasonable price. But today, we're going to be spending 100 conservation credits to start a new zoo. I'm gonna go with the grassland biome on this one just because I really hate rain and I hate snow, and I don't think either of those really happen that often in a grassland biome. Continent, we're just gonna stick with North America. That's where I be at, so might as well, right? Difficulty, I'm gonna select easy on this one. The name for it is the breeding grounds. That may give you guys more of an idea of what we're going to do today, but we'll go ahead and create our new zoo for 100 conservation credits. Hopefully we have enough to do what I want to do. All right, we're already gonna click pause here. So this is the start of our new zoo here. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be walking you guys through how I go about getting the most conservation credits, and that is basically making a puppy mill, if you will. I've talked about this before in a couple of different episodes, but conservation credits seem to be just about the hardest thing to be able to obtain in this game. So what I'm trying to do here is create a space where I can just breed, baby, breed, and we'll try to get as many conservation credits as we can with a budget of $40,000 to get things rolling here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually delete a lot of these trees just because they're probably gonna get in the way. And there we go, a much cleaner slate to start with. Let's go into our path tool here and let's just get right after it, dudes and dudettes. I'm gonna max this puppy out at 33 feet and, or I suppose we should probably try to match this. Well, we can change it. Actually, I wanna look at some of these because I haven't messed around with any other path. Frost Ice Path? What are some of these? Mosaic? Earth Path. Okay, Earth Path actually kind of looks pretty good, in my opinion, for this type of zoo. So let's change this up really quick to that. So 33 does seem a bit wide, a bit wider than the standard path. Let's move it down to 30, still too big. 26, still too big. It's got to be 23 then. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, we'll bring it out to about there. And then right at the entrance of the zoo, I'm gonna grab my staff path section. We're actually gonna use the red one just because it kind of fits a little bit better. Make it as small as it can possibly be. And we're gonna branch it out from right here. We don't need too much. I think that should actually be perfect to start. And now because we are working with such a small budget, I'm only going to get the bare necessities. So as far as our facilities go, we're just gonna go directly into staff facilities. Turn off the blueprints because we are trying to save some money here. We're of course going to need a workshop, so we'll get that one placed down right there. Next, we're gonna need an animal trade center. We'll get a small staff room right here, and then right next to that, we don't necessarily need a vet surgery building, but it would probably be smart to get one. Oh, that's gonna kill me, dude. 4,000 bucks for one of these? Whatever, I guess we have to. Place that down there, and then we are of course going to need a keeper hut. So we'll get that one placed down right there. All right, and just because this is super ugly, I am going to get rid of this weird little bit on the end. There we go, that looks a lot cleaner. So with these 5 buildings here, we should have everything that we need to run a pretty decent zoo. And yes, I'm just going for decent. This isn't gonna be pretty or anything like that. If the animals do need plants, we'll add the plants in, but if they don't, we're not gonna do it just because of our budget and because I hate placing plants down. Next, we're gonna move into our barriers here. We're gonna use the one-way glass because typically it has the resistance grade that we're looking for. Actually, you know what? Before we even move on to the barriers, before we even get the habitat started, I do think we should hire some employees. So let's tackle that first. Again, bare necessities. So we're gonna grab a single caretaker, 1 keeper, 1 mechanic, 1 security guard, and lastly, 1 vet. If we end up placing down any sort of concession stand, whether that's food, drink, balloons, whatever, then we'll get some vendors, but we don't actually need any as of right now. So this is our starting workforce. Now, I'm actually going to go through, just because I can, and rename all of them. First, we do have to let them drop down to the ground, though. There we go. All right, we have Ellsworth Saunders. That's our vet. We're just gonna name him Vet. Dominga Beauchamp. I realize you guys can't even see these names anyways. Hang on just a moment. There we go. That should make it a little bit easier for you all to see. Dominga Beauchamp. That's our security guard, so she's just going to be named Guard. I know, very original here. And then our mechanic, this is Judy Dockery. We're going to rename her Mechanic. Victor Graff. That's our keeper. He's just going to be Keeper. And Ronald Bullard. That's our caretaker, so he's just going to be named Caretaker. There's really no reason to do that. I did get a suggestion actually on renaming a security officer. I can't remember what the name was, but give me just one moment. I have to try it since we are renaming them just to see what it does. Okay, this comment comes from The Ultimate Destroyer. If this is just a very elaborate troll, I'm actually going to be kind of upset, but they suggested we rename the security guard. Granted, this is in Planet Coaster. I'm assuming it would be tied to Planet Zoo as well. Locket Man with 2 T's in all caps. There we go. Renamed Locket Man. Didn't seem to do anything right off the bat. Didn't turn into some sort of weird superhero. So I have no idea what that's all about. But we're gonna go ahead and move on now. That was fun. I can't ever decide which side I should actually have my face cam on. I had it on the left. People didn't like that. Now I have it on the right. Some people still don't like that. But we're sticking with the right because the only thing up there as of right now is the settings button. So continuing on, let's go ahead and open animal trading and we'll see which animal we're going to go with here. I'm going to keep the filter on sorted by the highest appeal just so we can make sure we get some animals that will have a good resale value. Now, a solid choice is actually the West African lion, but when you are trying to run a puppy mill, you could say, using the West African lion, since they are a alpha type species, you almost have to have 2 exhibits. So we may end up doing 2 exhibits so that we can take the babies from one and the babies from the other. And then once the parents get too old, we can actually trade them off, use the babies to keep reproducing, and so on and so forth. And we should end up being able to obtain animals, assuming we choose, good animals from the start, we should be able to obtain animals that have 100% everything. You know what? The West African lion's probably a good species to do this with. They don't need any plants. They really don't need all that much shelter, and they don't really need a whole lot of space to run around in. So I am very much considering doing this. I think it would work out pretty dang well. We do only have 1 keeper, so it may be kind of difficult for them to keep up with having to run from one exhibit to the next. But if we keep them close enough, I don't think there will be any severe issues. So I'm going to go through this list, see if I can't pick out a couple of good options for our first initial animals, and then we'll just go from there. Okay, after some serious looking, I did find 4 animals that I think will work well. And then, as soon as I re-entered the trade center, I realized all of our animals from our other zoo are also stored in the trade center, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be too bad. So right here we have Aluna. She's our albino West African lion. I wanted to separate them out so I would have 2 albinos that would breed together and then 2 just normal West African lions. So Aluna's rocking 100% size. Longevity, fertility is at 83, not too bad. Immunity's at 67, which is low, but I don't think it's going to be all that bad. Her mate is going to be Adisola, who has 100% size, longevity, fertility, and then 83% immunity. So I think the babies that they will make should have a decent immunity gene overall. There is a chance, of course, that it might even be 0%. We're just gonna kind of have to take that risk. Moving on to just the standard West African lion, we have Bun Mi. Bun Mi has a size gene of 83, longevity 92, fertility 100, immunity 67. Her mate is going to be Kitwana right here. Size gene 92, longevity 92, fertility, immunity 100%. So I think I chose some good options here. If we compare the mates, so Kitwana with Bun Mi, this is their potential offspring, which is very, very good. If we move to Aluna and Adisola, their offspring is even better. Size, longevity, obviously 100% fertility, and immunity. There's some chance that we may have something under 50%. But that is, again, totally okay. And now we have to start actually making a habitat. So this will be a quick little time lapse, but I do hope you guys enjoy. Guys, the deed is finally done. I actually put in some climbing stuff in the exhibit, which is surprising for me because typically I don't really care. Now guests think tickets are overpriced. Amazing. I already bumped it up because they were complaining. Let's do $10 and let's do $7.50. That should work, right? Red Raven, thanks so much for stopping by the zoo. Appreciate you being here. Come check out the only exhibits we have to offer. I can't believe this too. I completely forgot about having donation bins, but I was smart about this time. Literally this one time. I added the only bathroom and the only food on the opposite side of the zoo in hopes that, theoretically, the guests will be more inclined to actually complete this full half circle that we have here of a path system. So hopefully that ends up working. But when you are making basically a puppy mill like this really is, it is very important to add donation bins. It's very important to add education, because if your guests don't like the zoo, if people stop showing up to your zoo, then you're not going to have enough money to be able to feed your animals, especially when you're doing an animal such as the West African lion. Because if we take a look at the habitat gate, you guys know this, it's very expensive to feed these bad boy billies. We're looking at $5,900 just for 2 adults. Not to mention adding kids in. When you have 2 kids or so, it bumps it up to like $7,900 per feed, per day. That's what you're spending on these animals. So we were sitting at about 11,000 in the bank. We're up to 16,400 now, which is actually fairly good for just starting out. But as you can see, we do have a couple of guests actually making their way onto the opposite side of the zoo, which is good because hopefully we'll be able to increase the overall zoo rating of these animals as well. If they don't get viewed, then we're only going to be basically making money off of one set of these lions. So far things are going pretty well. We have $1,000 for having at least 300 guests already. Our initial zoo wasn't even this popular straight out of the gate, so I'm very, very happy with how things are going thus far. I did add some bins and some benches just so that our caretaker actually has something to do. The only time they'll do anything otherwise would be running our babies once they mature to and from the trade center so that we can keep them at a good age. But the animals are absolutely loving it. So far, we have 99% welfare for the male here. We have 99% for the female. Checking in over here. Look at that. They're already climbing up on stuff and pooping all over. Whoa, my God. Freaking superwoman over here. 99% welfare on her. 98 on the male on this side. So like I said, overall, it's really pretty good. I have a feeling that this zoo is going to get rather large rather quickly. In that, I mean, not having more exhibits, but more so just the amount of people that are going to be here is going to be far more than I initially thought. Originally, when I did this, I actually did it with grizzly bears, or maybe they were brown bears. I can't remember. I did it with a bear. I tried Arctic fox or Arctic wolf as well, and those really didn't work out. But the grizzly bears did really well. It just didn't seem like the appeal was there necessarily to get enough guests in to, you know, keep profits coming in, keep things moving. So this should do the trick, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to add in more vending machines. They already look like they're getting some lines out in front of them. So let's hop into guest facilities. I'm gonna put another Chief Beef vending machine right next to that one, and then another Gulpy Soda right next to this one. I'm very happy with this. Very, very happy. We're up to $19,000 now, almost $20,000, and hopefully as time goes by, we can have some bebe. The real objective is to try to not get rid of, that sounds horrible. I guess the whole concept of this is kind of bad. The objective is when the parents do reach that age where they're maybe getting infertile, maybe won't have any babies, maybe their offspring just aren't as good as we would want. There is the option to trade them. Sometimes though, it seems like depending on their age, when you go to trade / release them to the wild, normally the release to wild amount, conservation credits wise, is going to be higher than the trade amount. The game realizes they're at such an old age, no one else is really going to want them in their zoo because most of the time people are just gonna be breeding them. But these animals are doing excellent. Dude bro's just laying on top of the sprinkler. Why not? Have at it, dude. And he's just gonna take a nice nap. All right, and now this is sort of the part of the episode where I'm like, man, I guess I just have to sit here and wait till they have bebe, and we'll just keep moving things along that way, but I have a feeling it's gonna go pretty dang quick. This area I probably should have made the path quite a bit larger so people had more room to walk around, but hopefully it doesn't cause too many issues. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's going well.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Uh-oh, this is not good. Hang on. What the heck just happened? Dude, what the heck just happened? Has an animal escaped? What the heck happened? Dude, I looked over and all of the guests were like flying up in the air. What the heck is going on? All right, let me try to find the animals. So we have male, we have female, we have female, we have male. Why did they all just jump up? I'm so confused. Okay, I gotta try to help you guys in here. Okay, thrown into the air. Why? Why? I've never seen that happen before. Okay, let's start moving you all out of there so you don't get eaten alive. That would not be good for the zoo. Our overall zoo rating would be hurt from that. I don't think I will ever understand what just happened or how that happened. All right, I think I have fixed everyone now. They should all be good. Dude, I'm speechless. I have absolutely no idea how that happened. I just started fast forwarding and then everyone just flew up into the air. Very weird. Hopefully that's just a bug and that doesn't happen again because that kind of sucked. A lot of the people ended up in the exhibit, which isn't good because they'd be eaten in a heartbeat. A Luna West African lion is about to have offspring. That's pretty sick. Drink profits. Dude, already, we are getting all of the rewards. This is so sick. And then Bun Me as well. All right, a Luna has had offspring. I'm gonna wait till Bun Me has hers. Perfect. All right, let's pause things really quick here. Let's see how many we got. Oh, they actually had an albino baby. Very cool. Check the stats here. 83, 92, 83, 83. That's a pretty dang good bebe. What do we have on this one? 83, 83, 83, 67. Not terrible. Definitely can work with that. Did this one have 4? 3? 3 bebe. That's the first time I've ever had a lion have 3 bebe. Ever had more than 2? Oh, there's another one up here I didn't even see. They both had 3 bebe. All right, immunity on this one is definitely low. So this is going to be our first release. The reason that I renamed them release is solely so when I do send them off to the trade center once they age, once they get old enough to do that, it makes it a lot easier for me to realize, oh, okay, this one's stats aren't very good, not necessarily worth keeping. So typically, I just release them to the wild. Most of the time, since their stats are not the greatest, people won't really even want to buy them anyways. But dude, this is going really well. I can't believe they both had 3 bebe. 100, 100, 83, 67, solid male right there. 100, 100, 83, 67, solid female. 100, 100, 83, 67. Okay, so all the stats on those are the same. All right, and now we just have to wait for the inspector to go around, check out all the exhibits, look at the specific animal they want to look at, and then we'll be able to see our rating, and hopefully it's not too bad. But we almost had 700 guests in the zoo at a time. We're at 630-ish. Not too bad for a zoo of this size, of this caliber. Report ready for viewing. Let's see how we did. Education, 2 stars. I think that's mainly because we're lacking diversity here. We do only have 2 of the same species, but a 4-star for an inspection report is pretty good. So we just have to wait until these bebe become 3 years old, and then we will be able to either release them depending on their stats, Or again. What are you doing? All of the animals are going to eat you. What have you done? Thrown into the air. Thrown into the air by what? Why won't you tell me what happened? Why you not tell me what happened? We're going to move these instead of being at the top side. We're actually going to move them around because they can't walk this way. That way they actually complete the full loop, and I think things will be better. More people. I didn't even notice this. More people just flew out into nowhere. Why is the game doing this? If any of you know what is throwing the guests into the air, please enlighten me in the comments. I have absolutely no clue why this is happening. Low on cash. Great. I really hope this ends up paying off because I took a lot of my conservation credits I had already away, and I really betting that I'm going to be able to make that back. As you can see, financially, we're not doing so hot. We're now negative about $2,500. What are you doing? I need to, Jesus Christ, thrown into the air. Look at this. They're just all flying into the air. Oh, I figured it out, guys. I figured it out. Our security guard, our security officer, I should say. We renamed her Locket Man, and now every time she goes to apprehend a miscreant, someone who's damaged something or stolen something or whatever, she just knocks everyone out of the way. Anyone that stands in her way, she just throws them into the air. Oh my God, look at how many guests we have in there. Okay, we're changing your name. I'm sorry, it is very cool, but I can't have all of the guests being thrown into the air at once. It's not good. It's plain and simple, it's not good. So you're gonna be security. We're just gonna rename you security so you don't do that anymore. And now I have to go through and pick up all of these poor guests that have flown into the habitats. Oh my God, dude, I can't believe that. I am glad that that wasn't just a troll though, and that someone was like, no, you should actually do this because it's hilarious. But I just wish you would have told me that it was going to happen. All right, I don't know if these people are dead. I think those people died. Oops. So to those of you that were going to let me know why my guests were being thrown into the air, I have good news. I figured it out all by my lonesome. But the bad news is that we had to essentially change Locket Man's name because that's not good for the zoo. That's just overall, that's a bad thing to have happen. Horse Wang. Horse Wang, thanks so much for stopping by the zoo. Appreciate you being here. As you can probably tell as well, we are losing a considerable amount of money now, and it's just chapstick, all right? Chill. That's not great, but I knew that was probably going to happen. We did lose quite a bit of money breeding the grizzly bears previously, so it was bound to happen at some point. Hopefully we can still afford to feed our animals. I'm sure we're just gonna keep taking out loans or something. The bad news about that though is the fact that now I can't train any more of my workers because I have no money to pay them for training. West African lion about to mature here. I'm not sure which one it is, but I'm gonna wait for the pop-up and then immediately put them into the trade center so that it doesn't age anymore. Oh no! You suck, Brandon Matthews. So if a miscreant also gets spotted by security, then they too will throw people into the air. How did I not know this until just now? Release West African lion has matured. So with that being said, I feel like we should release. We'd get 917 for that animal if we just straight release. Otherwise, you know what? I'm not even gonna look at the otherwise because nobody is going to want him with a 33% immunity. So we are just going to straight release to the wild. Dude, just under 1,000 conservation credits. That's nothing to be upset about. That's actually really, really good. All right. Ayo Bami. Ayo Bami has matured. Ayo Bami has some decent stats here. We'll send her to the trade center. That's a weird way to spell carry. He has matured. Send him off to the trade center. Iapana. Send to trade center. That's Aluna. And then we had Adisola. Okay. Still good. Still good. And then we had a female that matured up here. Ibere. You guys can't even see the names anyways, so I don't know why I try to pronounce them. One more right here. Send to trade center. That should be all the bebe accounted for. Why do you do this? Where is the miscreant? He's been apprehended. He has been apprehended, ladies and gentlemen. Sucks to suck, dude. I'm gonna change his name to I Suck Donkey Wang. There we go. go. Sorry, you're an idiot. Back to normal. Dude, I can't wait to edit this and just put some super heavy metal over every time a guest gets thrown into the air and I can actually capture it. That's gonna be just the best. I feel like my face cam was probably in the way on that one, but I want to make sure I'm doing 2 rounds of breeding. So we already did the first round. We'll do a second round and then we will sell the adults. But I'm trying to make sure that we're going to have enough males and females so that we can pick the best, I guess, 4 out of the group and then have them basically continue what their parents were doing and just kind of creating offspring. It's very unethical. I wouldn't recommend running an actual zoo this way. However, if you're trying to get a lot of conservation credits fairly quickly, I do recommend this method, especially with the 2 habitats. That's probably a good call. Both sides now are expecting offspring again, so we just got to keep fast forwarding and wait it out. All right, I think Aluna is about to have its offspring or her offspring. So let's see what we got. Ziad right here. Fertility 50%. I would say that's probably worth a release. So we're going to rename him Release. Adissa, again, fertility 50%. That is a release. Ayo Bunmi, again, fertility 50%. So that is a release as well. Kind of unfortunate because that means this is our last round of breeding, I believe. Yeah, 7.8 years old, so we will be selling off the adults here in just a moment. Bunmi over here is about to have her offspring as well. So let's see, hopefully we have a little bit better genetics on this side. I do love how there is still a chance of getting an albino offspring, even when you don't have albino parents. Check the albino one first. This is Obi. Obi has a 33% immunity. That is a release. Akala, solid stats there, Akala, well done. And then Ola Femi, a male. Good stats as well. Okay, good news. So they both had 3 more bebe, which again, very surprising. I wonder if it has anything to do with their fertility stat. If it is 100%, maybe they have a higher chance of having more offspring rather than less. I suppose we probably should trade out the parents now, just because the longer we wait, if we wait another 2.5 years, whatever it is from this point, until the babies actually mature, then they will be slightly older and not as sought after. Bunmi right here, 8 years old. Kitwana as well, 8 years old. So let's send Bunmi to the trade center. Kitwana to the trade center. Coming over to the albino side of things, we have Adisola, trade center, 8 years old again. And Aluna, 8 years old as well, trade center. All right, wait for them to get transported. And let's open up our animal trading, animal storage. I'm just going to sort this by their species to make things a little bit easier on me. And then let's sort it by age, highest to lowest. That should give us the adults we're looking to trade off. Starting with Adisola, $1,500. You could theoretically increase the amount that you want for them. However, most times that I've done that, they don't even sell. So we're going to go with just whatever the game recommends we sell them for. Aluna, 15-13 again. Kitwana, 14. And Bunmi, about 14 as well. So those are all 4 going to hit the trading block for, I believe, an hour. And hopefully, by the end of this episode, we'll maybe have, I don't know, 6,000 conservation credits. That would be kind of nice. And I have seen, Jesus Christ, mate, you what? Hang on. Okay, so we renamed Locket Man just security, but she's still ejecting guests all over the place. So maybe we rename her guard again? Maybe security has the same effect. This really sucks. I don't like that this happens. I don't like that that happens at all. Oh, this is very unfortunate. At least I don't think the babies will try to harm a lot of these guests. Most of my time this episode has been spent trying to relocate guests that have been thrown about like a freaking rag doll. Why? Someone please tell me why. If I just leave all those guests stranded, is that fine? Look at, there's kids on the roof. There are children on the roof. Yeah, this is not okay. They're all gonna get slaughtered. So I've decided that I'm never going to change the name of a security guard to Locket Man ever again, because I have a feeling, since this hasn't happened in my other zoo, and we do have security officers, I have a feeling that this does only happen if you change the name of a security guard. It also causes anyone who's going to steal to be able to do this as well. God, I would be pooping my pants if I was thrown into an exhibit that was holding lions. If they were babies or not, dude, that would not be a fun experience. I don't like this anymore. It was funny like the first couple of times. Now it's just a pain in the butt. Okay, I'm so tired of picking people up. I don't know if this is going to do anything, but I'm going to at least try to prevent the guests from getting inside the exhibit. So I'm going to quite literally just raise the wall up. Oh, I don't have money. I don't have money. I can't do that. Oh, I'm just going to have to suffer through this. This is horrible. Oh my God, this is horrible. Karen, I'm so sorry. We left you out there. Okay, how much longer these bebe have till they mature? Are they about there? They're only one? Well, good news. As you can see down here in the bottom left, we now have 4,800, almost 4,900 conservation credits, which is good. I'm gonna check in our animal trading just to see if we have any more that are still up for sale. We have Kitwana and Bunmi still up for grabs. And then we do still have our 3-year-old that we're gonna then go put back in these exhibits so they can have even more bebe. Unfortunately, you guys, I've sat here. I mean, you guys know, this takes forever. It definitely doesn't happen overnight. So I do think I'm actually going to have to wind this episode down here. But if you guys were at all curious, I hope this helped you sort of figure out how you can get a lot of conservation credits rather quickly. Otherwise, I mean, sure, you can have a regular old zoo and just try to release animals to the wild, maybe trade a couple of the ones that are more expensive, but this is sort of tried and true. Aside from the part of the Locket Man situation, don't do that. I don't recommend anyone change the name of their security guard to Locket Man. It is a huge pain in the butt. And with that, we are going to wind down this episode here. So if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.